Yo, what is going on, guys? We are back with another episode of Project Architect 2, and I know there's a lot that's missing right now. That's because our previous episode, our microphone was not working, so there was no audio to it, so I just scrapped the video. I'm just going to update you guys on what we have done. So you see, we have the white room, the orange room, the white room, and now we went into the black room, and we started uh, building a factory area. And this is going to be for modern industrial foregoing, not modern industrialization. That mod is not in this mod pack. Um, so what's happening right now is we have our fluid extractors extracting what is this called? Latex from this log, and it's going into our ME system. And then we have the ME system pulling out latex in the water because we do have a infinite water cell, which is super easy to make at this point. And then we have our dissolution chamber over here to give us our tier 1 upgrades of like the processing efficiency and speed tiers. And that's what we have inside of here. We don't have any in here, so we're not too worried about that. But so that is what we did in the last episode, that there was no audio recording, which is frustrating, but it does happen. But if we go up top, there's not really much changed up top. We can go in here though. This is probably full over here. No, we're chilling on that. That's good. What about up here? We got about 11 million in there. We don't really need to collect it right now because we have 200 million. And then if we actually, there's a few things I want to set up in this episode. So if we go down here, we can actually craft some wireless crafters because that's what we have set up over here. We didn't run the cable all the way through. All we did was, use a wireless link. So we're actually going to do that once again. So we only need one of them because it does craft 2 automatically. So if we grab these 2, and then if we go to our backpack, we have our wireless link and controller. If we go up to our cube, as you see, we have one right there. We'll put another one right here. We'll grab that location. And then we are going to be using this area over here. And so we're just going to put it back here, even though this is not really where I actually want it. It's just where it's going to go. So we can just put that right there. Link it. Now that is linked. The reason why I say I don't want it right there is because we're going to do something with this area. I just want to be able to connect it to our storage, so we're just not to mess around with it and pull it up to the front. Because what we're going to be getting into today is we're going to want to create tier 2s and possibly tier 3s, but to be able to complete tier 3s, we need to get pink slime. And to get pink slime, you actually need a mob slaughter factory, and then you need spawners to spawn mobs for it to slay. But what we can do right now, if we go to industrial foregoing, we can actually craft, let's put 2 in there. We can craft probably 4 of each of these, which we don't have the diamond gears, but I thought we had an autocraft for it, which we did set up the autocraft panels too. Yeah, we have the diamond gear, but I'm assuming that the craft for these is incorrect because that's what was the issue last time. So if we actually grab these out and we put them in here. Yeah, so use the industrial foregoing, which we needed to use the thermal series version. I don't know why I didn't use the thermal series version previously, but it should have. But now we should be able to craft. Well, we need 5 of each. Which that one shouldn't be. Which one was that we were trying to craft? This one. Which that one should not be. Oh, we have the wrong recipe for that one. It's supposed to be this right here. Throw that in there. Now we should be able to craft 5 of those, and then 5 of these. And we already have our tier 5 add-on, so we can actually, what is this? This one. So we can replace that in all of these machines, which is just a nice tier 2, which will help speed things up. So we can toss those in there. We can grab these ones. Which these give us a 3 times. So that's always nice. So they'll process them a lot faster. We can do the same thing with our speed tiers, which this takes 66% of the reduction time of the craft, or the action that it's performing, reduces it by 66% instead of 50%. So now that we have those done, we need to work on our tier 3, which we can make tier 3 efficiencies, it looks like. So if we go tier 3, I believe it's efficiency. We should be able to make 5 of these, but it's going to take some of those, but it should be able to craft the efficiency tier 2s with the crafted item. Oh, it literally tells you in the pattern. Okay. So right here, so it literally says we need to take this, not this one, put that there. Take the efficiency card, put that there, and then put it like that. Now we should have no problems crafting this. Okay, now all we're missing is the, nice, okay. So we need to turn this off. Now we can start working on something else, because that was frustrating. If I would have just read a little bit, we would have been able to see it. So here, what we need to do is we need to set up a farm that slaughters animals. We're probably going to do like pigs. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to grab a swab, just because this is an easy way of doing so. We're going to go find us a pig. Shouldn't be too difficult to find a pig. Or cow. We could do, I guess we can just swab the cow over here and we can use cows. I used pigs in the all the mods 10. So we'll use cows in this one. See if there's actually a distinct difference or not. And all we have to do is go back down. And then we can take this and we can convert this, which, make sure it's the cow. That's not the cow. That is the cow. And then now if we right click this on a chicken, which we might just have to grab some seeds because I don't auto breed my animals. Oh, I could have just killed all of. That would have sucked. Alright, throw those in there. We got our cow spawn egg. So now what we can do is we can come down here and we can set up our spawner area. So what we're going to want to do is, can we craft our mob slaughter factory? Yes. So we're going to have our mob slaughter factory, which honestly, we can put it right here. We can put it right there. That'll actually work. Because then we can just go in the, we can just go through right here to access it if we ever need to. And then what we want to do is we're going to use stained glass. Or tinted glass. Like so. The difficulty with this one is going to be getting the spawn range down to this room basically, which we'll be able to do. We're just going to want to set the spawner just one high. So if we can do that right now. So we do spawner, doesn't matter what spawner we grab, we want a redstone signal. So we're on one of these. So when we place this down and slap it with one of those, we can also put our cows in there. We can destroy this and we can get some vector plates. We have 36 of them. Forgot these ones place where you're looking, in the direction you're looking. So they'll go right there. And then I do want to get a lever and then a lever controller. We can place, what we should be able to do is place this lever on top, link it to that, and then walk out to right here. And realistically, when we click this, actually it's going to start spawning those everywhere. So let's not do that because we need to throw some other upgrades in there. So what we'll want to do is we will want to put, so we're going to want the blaze rods with nether quartz in our hands. Let's grab some blaze rods and some nether quartz. And so if we hold this, this will reduce their spawn range. So spawn range is now 1. So spawn range is now 1. So it shouldn't spawn anywhere outside of there. And then what else we need to do, we can go ahead and get a conduit because that will allow for it to work very well. We can get wool, which will silence it so we don't have to hear it. And then we go mob spawner. We go, oh, tapped out. If we hit L and we go to our Apothic spawners, so decrease maximum spawn to spawner to delay of spawner to 20. So with clocks, I believe. Right. So clock. Make, are these EMCable? No. So this literally just tells you the time. I knew it was a different recipe for this mod pack. So if we take this, you look right here. So this one ignores light spawn counts. So we're gonna put fallen stars on it. It has a max entities, which we can't do that because that's a breeze rod, which we don't have access to breeze rods. We'll silence it, the no AI, the minimum spawn delay. So tar, we might have to try and get some tar, which I think I know how we can do so. Conduit ignores players. Activation range, don't need that. Max spawn delay, we don't have access to that. And then there's the ignore conditions. So what we can do is we can put the fallen star. We have 4 of them. Put it up to 8, which is the max that we can do. And for tar, if we use a pyrolyzer, which I believe we can craft this pretty simply. Yep, like that. Ooh, maybe. Constantine. Oh yeah, we can make that. How did we just make that? Nickel. Okay. Nickel. Craft 100 of those, please. So then we can make as much of this as we need. Boom, there we go. We need 2 gears, like so. And then we need a main frame, machine frame, we can craft. And then boom. We have one of these, which we'll just use for right now to get a few of this stuff, which if you take coal, toss it in there, it'll slowly has a 25% of giving tar. If it gives tar, then we'll definitely throw it on there, but if it doesn't, it is what it is. Right now it's using 5 RF a tick. It has no augments. I'm not worried about augments right now because we are not working on that mod. But with that part set up, we can close this up. And we are just going to be waiting for that to give us some tar to add to that. And then the other thing that we need to do, I believe it's not that one. So it is this one right here. What we can do is we can do a export bus or import bus. Import bus. That right there, and then take some cables. We are in the black room, so we're going to use black cables. We're going to connect that right there, connect that like that. And the only other thing we have to put in there is acceleration cards. Acceleration cards, we need some more of that. We need 2 of those. And then upgrades also. We can put upgrades in the machine itself. We'll put those in there. And then upgrades in the machine. So if we go at the industrial forgoing, should be able to craft 1 of each of these, no issue. Is this still not full over here? Oh, this is still running. I didn't want that running. Whoops. Well, we can put 1 of those in there. We should be able to craft 1 of those. No? Oh, because it's still filling up over here. It's annoying. And that wrench doesn't work as a wrench. That's good to know. Grab this wrench out. Open this up. Take latex out for right now. Just so we can start. So we can craft this up. So go tier. Let's craft 1 of those. Let's craft 1 of those. Thank you. Thank you. And then we open this up, we can toss those in there like that. And then now if we turn this on with our switch, cows should start spawning. Hopefully. If not, we might have to move the lever because they might not be able to spawn because that lever is on top, which is annoying. All right, so now after we have our farm set up, we can keep on throwing this tar in there as long as we get it. No clue where that glass went. So what we can continue to do, so this is running. So we ended up switching it to chicken because we were having issues with spawning. It's set up a little wonky, but it works now. So that's all that matters. It is pretty slow still, but it does work. And that's what we need because we do need to get the pink slime, which we have obtained. So we do have the pink slime. I don't know if we need pink slime balls right now. Let's see what these take. Nope, they just take pink slime. It looks like they take 1 bucket, and we have a couple of buckets. And so what we can do now to help process everything faster, so we can request some tier 3s. Great. So processing. So what we need to do with these, just so we make sure we have those all proper, is what we need to do is we need to take these. Oh, not these ones, sorry. Take these ones, put them in here, and then take the processing tier that it is and place the actual one in there, craft a new recipe, and it should be good to go. We should have to do that for each and every one of them. Just because it is for some reason a glitch in the system. Which that one should be all set. So now we should be able to throw those in there, and then now we should be able to craft. Well, we can't craft 5 of them. We don't have that. Actually, what is this? We should be able to craft 5 of these. Craft 5 of those. We can just do craft 1 of those because we don't have enough slime yet. Slime is processing. Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely spawning. Should be. Maybe. There's no light in there, but it shouldn't matter. Ignores light. But it spawns every minute and 50 seconds. Minute and 40 seconds. All right, and we do have our 5 here and 1 here. So let's go ahead and craft 1 of those also. And we can toss these in here. Because we don't want to get boggled down by that. You can also throw 1 of these in there. And then we can also throw 1 of these in there. Throw those in there. And now what we should be able to craft. We need 4 of these, which we don't have enough slime, but we craft what? 3? 2? We can craft 2 of those, which we can put in here. And like this is stuff I'll just do at like beyond episodes. So we have this stuff created. We've created all 3 of those, everything in there. We're kind of just waiting for this to process so we can get the minimum spawn delay, because they are spawning, but they're like instantly dying as soon as they spawn, which is what we won't need because we need the pink slime. But that's probably how far we're going to go into industrial forgoing for right now, because at this current moment, we don't actually have, besides the wither builder, we don't actually have a reason to use. Wait, does tar have a EMC value? I did not even check that. That doesn't. I don't think it does. But we don't actually need to use industrial forgoing just yet, but having a nice little start in it is always going to be helpful later down the road. We're going to use this upper part because we're going to have to get like a wither chamber going and a possibly a warden chamber going. We have this extra area over here for anything else that we want to have running right there. We have 2 more speed cards. So what we can do is we can take that speed out, put those in, and that's just more speed that we have in there. We should be creating more and more latex, which we're at 125 buckets, which is insane. So let's go ahead and put latex back in here. Latex. We can let that fill back up, and we need a facade right here. Because this only holds 16 buckets, so we should be producing that pretty fast now. We have some creosote oil, but actually the next thing we probably get into is going to be dimensions, because I know we need to get in there. So actually let's take a look real quick. Yeah, so we need to go to a new dimension to be able to get these things. We also are going to need this, so we'll have to get into mechanism. We'll also need to charge a snowball, which we can do. We'll have to get the glacier staff, but this is going to be the next task that we conquer, and we might put mechanism, beginning of mechanism in this room right here, and then we'll put our dimensions over in this room. But until next episode, I will catch you guys later. See ya.